Hi Laurel, your assignment this week is to take a photograph of an artwork that you've done at home that you feel really proud of. This artwork will then be included in our online art show. So we're going to walk through some tips on how to take a photo of your artwork. Once you've followed the tips that we are going to go through with your device, whatever you have to take photos, whether it's a cell phone, a digital camera, a computer. Once you've done that, you'll email me the photo and I'll add it to our digital art show. If you'd like to include a title for your photo, you may as well. All right, let's get started photographing your artwork. All right, so I have chosen the artwork that I would like to photograph. I chose my recycled art garden, and now my first order of business is to find the best lighting in my house. So I want to be somewhere where maybe near a window where some good light comes in. So I placed myself right by the window, but I don't want it to be too bright and too crazy, so you can find a happy medium. But for my house, right by the window is the best. I'm thinking if I place my artwork down, I can see everything really clearly, and that looks really good. Now I'm gonna show you an example of maybe some bad lighting. So we're just gonna go on a little adventure over here to this hallway. Over here in the hallway, the lighting is not so good. If I put my artwork down, I can see it okay, but it's not, I don't know, it's not as nice as before. And I also have my shadow that's changing the way the lighting is on my artwork. So you wanna be careful that your shadow isn't gonna change the artwork. So now I'm gonna go back to by my window and I can see the difference. All my colors are really bright and it's all crisp and clear. The second thing that you want to make sure you do is give a good background behind your artwork. So right now I have the wood floor. That's a pretty good background, but another option to make your artwork really stand out is to put it on a background of maybe some black paper. I just have 2 pieces of black construction paper. And if I put my artwork on that makes it stand out really well. I also have black fabric that I could lay out. And if your artwork is black, you may want to choose a piece of white paper instead. Other things that work well for a good background are a clean and clear table, other types of floors, anything that is just kind of one color and not distracting. You want to make sure that there is nothing else in the picture obstructing. I would want to clear everything out away from my artwork so that it's just the artwork in the frame and there's nothing else. Okay, so I found my good lighting in my house. I made sure that there's no other objects around my artwork or covering it up. There's no weird shadows coming in over top of it. Looks pretty good. I also added a nice background. Now I'm ready to take my photo. So I'm gonna take it with this iPad, but you can, of course, like we talked about, use a phone or a digital camera or a computer. So I'm gonna make sure, firstly, that I find the kind of the center of the frame. I can see my artwork is centered. I can even get in a little bit closer. So instead of using a zoom feature like this on the computer or on whatever device you're using, I recommend just getting as close as you can, but being careful not to cut off anything. So I'm getting pretty close. You want to make sure you're right on top of your artwork and that you're not taking it at an angle. Okay, so if I take my artwork if I take a picture of it from right here, I'm getting close to the artwork. It looks really nice. I've taken this photograph. But when I look at it, my artwork doesn't look like a nice rectangle, and it's gonna make it very hard to crop. So the important thing is that I make sure I'm straight right on top. My iPad, whatever device you're using, is super flat, and then I can take that photo. I'm gonna show you one more example of that. If I take it from the side, it ends up looking like this side of the paper is really big and this side of the paper is really tiny, which isn't how my artwork is. Something to be careful of when you're taking your photo is that your fingers don't accidentally block out part of the screen. So sometimes when people take photos, you can see now if I go back into my photo, right up here is a little bit of my finger in there, and that kind of obstructed some of my picture. So let's go back to the picture that I took that I liked. Here it is. Now it definitely needs to be cropped. So I'm gonna find the crop setting. It's usually under edit. Whatever you're using, it should be under edit. In mine, there's this little square right here. I'm gonna click that. And now it has these 4 corners that are movable. So I'm going to crop in on the photo and get rid of, you have the option of keeping a border if you have a good background, like that. Or you can crop in even further so that it's just your picture. So now when I'm done, I have my artwork and it looks like this, looks pretty awesome, and it's ready to send to me by email. I'm so excited to see all of your artworks.